Hello, regular Drews.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome back. We are in episode 123. 123, Kori.
Fun number.
I know.
Yeah.
And we are covering another Her Interactive PC game. This one, number 23, Shadow at the Water's Edge.
Yay.
Well, aren't you a regular Nancy Drew?
I learned that from the Nancy Drew detective.
Okay, go.
You think you can follow the clues and solve the case of the missing condiment, Nancy Drew?
Because I've read every Nancy Drew mystery ever written.
Nancy, please tell me you're joking.
Wow, you suck at this Nancy Drew stuff. You should get a new hobby.
My name is Carson Drew, and this is my assistant, Nancy.
Nancy Drew.
It's curtains for you, Miss Drew.
Nancy Drew strikes again.
A regular Nancy Drew.
Perfect for, we just got off of Halloween here. I think this will come out like the week after Halloween, I want to say. So,
Yeah, it'll be airing that first week in November. So,
gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, I think, either number one or number two of the spookiest games that Her Interactive has put out.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
I just don't know if I like it.
That's okay. That's okay.
I know it's a big fan favorite, and I'm not here to yuck anyone's yum. You know what I mean? Like, if you're a big fan of this game, I can definitely see why. There are, like, certainly very rich elements to the story, and, like, lots of the vibes are really great. And, of course, it's super spooky. I just feel like it kind of drags.
Yeah.
And I'm just not... I don't know. I'm not super knowledgeable about Japanese culture, and I just feel like kind of lost a lot of the time when I'm playing it. Like, it just wasn't made for me, I think, And like, that's fine. That's fine. I just, I don't love it for that reason. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think, well, before I really run off on a tangent here, quality-wise, I think it's really good.
Yes.
Is it for me personally? Probably not.
Right.
Especially when it came out. I'm a little bit better about it now, but I really, really did not like horror, especially when I was younger. When they made this game, it's very obvious that this was heavily inspired by horror movies, especially Japanese horror. And so there's a lot of influences there, which is really great if that's something that you really love, but not something that I personally really love.
Exactly.
So quality-wise, I think it is a good game. I appreciate how many puzzles there are. I appreciate, especially this era of the games, how many like mini games there are. There's a lot of fun things to do in the game. But again, it's just not one of my favorites from the series. I don't know. Something about games 1 through like 19 or 20 to me all feel almost separate. Not separate, but just different from games 20 or 21 onward or through 32. After 32, 33, 34, that's a different story, obviously, entirely. But yeah, just something about that. It feels like we really just kind of switched gears around maybe like 2009, 2010 when this kind of era started. Just something about it is a little bit different. Now, maybe it's just the nostalgia factor, just because I grew up with the earlier games and so I loved them more. Obviously, a game that came out when I was in college isn't going to be as nostalgic to me as a game that I played when I was 8 years old, obviously. But yeah, just something about them isn't as charming as like the first 20 games. There's just something a little bit different about them. And there's great things about games, 20-ish through 32. There's obviously the puzzles and the graphics get a lot better. The mini games get a lot better. But yeah, there's just something about the charm that's just not quite there. We've moved away from really basing it in the Nancy Drew books to favoring more of like an inspired original story kind of thing.
Right.
There's a lot of great lore in the later games. I feel like you can really, really get a lot out of Nancy's lore from the later games that you can't get from the first 20. I mean, you definitely still can, but not at the same level.
Right.
But yeah, they're just not the same to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe this one, Thornton Hall and Sea of Darkness are the most standout of that kind of group of games, but everything else in that like block of
Time.
10 or 20,
Yeah.
anything in that time period is just not a favorite for me, unfortunately.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think, like you were saying, the puzzles are probably the standout thing in this game for me. The
Mhm.
puzzles are super good. Just so much to do.
Mhm.
But I do think, yeah, it feels different. And I think a big reason for that is this is like one of the first games that, like, this doesn't start us off with, oh wait, no, it does. Never mind. I'm thinking about later on. My bad. Just ignore what I was about to say. I was going to say
It's
this.
the
It still
next
starts
game
us
where
with a
we
case
start
file,
the
but it's yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. But they're more cinematic. You know what I mean? They try to do so much more with the storytelling, which I think really is impactful and
Mhm.
works. But it's less cookie cutter. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's less like I know what to expect going into a game.
Mhm.
The menus look different. Like how you introduce us to the story can look different every time. And so yeah, when you're playing it, it doesn't feel familiar because it doesn't feel like the 20 games that came before.
Mhm.
And that's fine. That's good. It's just a different game, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the time period, especially, there was a lot going on with Her Interactive at this time, which we can
Mm.
kind of point to. So this game came out October 2010, and so at this time they were working really hard on like getting the Dossier series going. They were remastering Secrets Can Kill right now. Like they had a lot going on,
Yeah.
and they also brought in a new writer. I don't know if you know, but starting
Oh,
with
no.
game 21, I think Waverly Academy was his first game.
Interesting.
Was with the company through Sea of Darkness, but Nick Blahunka came on as the story writer for
Wow.
pretty much every game between 21 to 32, which I think probably explains a lot of the
Mhm.
tone shift from
Yeah.
the first 20 games to 21 after.
It's just like a little less goofy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This game is definitely not the worst one or like the best example of his work, but I feel like Nick Blahunka, and to his credit, I think that he's a great writer,
Yeah.
but I think that his writing style is just not exactly what I was wanting from this era.
Mhm.
It's just not as much like the older game. I feel
Right.
like I'm kind of dancing around what I'm trying to say here. I'm not
Just say it,
saying it
Kori.
very clearly. No, I don't know how to say what
Oh,
I want
sure.
to say. It's just
Yeah.
it feels like he was trying too hard to make something iconic. If you look at the first 20 games, there's a lot of examples of characters that are super beloved by fans, super iconic characters that they didn't really have to like put a lot of effort into making
Because
those
they were
characters
just
that way.
being silly and they were
Yeah.
doing things because it was fun.
Yeah, if you think about like Professor Hotchkiss or Tino Balducci, you know exactly who those characters are. It
Mhm.
felt like he was trying really hard to like, okay, how do I make someone quirky? And it
Hmm.
wasn't just like, how do I make this character do this? It was like, how do I make
Like
someone
Sunny
extra
June?
quirky? Shatter Medallion is definitely the worst example of
Yeah.
his writing, where the characters will just, instead of answering Nancy's questions or like giving you dialogue that
Patrick.
contributes to the mystery, yeah, they just kind of talk in circles.
Yeah.
Renthro is the worst one in this game for
yes,
sure.
that is definitely something I noticed
Mhm.
about this game particularly. I felt at many times when I was talking to people that, like, we've already had this exact conversation.
Mhm.
Like, we're saying the same things. You've already told me this. You're just saying it in a different way. There's no real advancement of the plot through conversations unless it's
Yes.
someone giving you a task. Like, or like unless like you've discovered information and you are finally bringing it to someone, in which case yes, they will then talk about it, but it's not like no one is revealing things to you really,
Mhm.
like in conversation, which is what you have the conversations for,
Right.
you would think. But
Yes.
and I wonder if a lot of that has to do with, like, how they're trying to design these games, because I'm sure it must be a really big challenge
Oh, of
to
course.
like try to figure out, well, how do I continue to let like the player engage with these people when like they haven't ticked these certain boxes yet. But I don't know. Like, you could
Mhm.
just make them disappear, which is what you did in previous games when there wasn't anything to say. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or just have them like say hi and bye. Like, we're very used to
Yeah.
that.
It feels like there was a lot of opportunities to use that dialogue for like furthering the gameplay itself, and we just
Mm-hmm.
don't take those opportunities in
Yeah.
favor of trying to make this character seem extra funny or extra cute or something. It's like, we don't need it explained to us why Yumi's cute and pink. Just let her be that way, and then we'll figure it out along the way while we're talking to her anyway, you know?
Yeah. But I still think the game is good. I just want to, be clear to everyone that like this kind of like critique that we're having is just because we are so invested and so like paying such close attention to all these like minute changes. It's an excellent game, I think, and definitely worth you playing it. I can definitely see exactly what you're talking about. So yeah,
I absolutely love all of them. If I've said anything critical about any, game 20 through 32, you could still pry them from my cold dead hands. I love them so much.
Yes. The one thing that annoys me the most about this game, Kori,
yes.
I'm like, I really do think it's a great game, but here's another thing that annoys me. And everybody's going to know what I'm talking about with this, though, if you've played this game. Nancy. Come on. And I know that like this is basically a joke in the Nancy Drew fan community at this point because of how horrible this is, but Nancy's tactlessness and almost to the point of like belligerence in this game is wild. Like,
what happened to your mom? Tell me what happened to your mom.
And when people are like constantly being like, that's none of your business. Stop asking. Don't bring it up. Put that back where you got it. This is not your, like, they literally say this to her over and over again. And again, she'll bring up, so I finally figured out what happened to your mom. It's like, oh my God. Drop it. And I listen, I do understand that like in like the course of the games, Nancy is known as kind of like saying the thing that maybe you shouldn't say.
Right. Yeah.
But in this game, I do feel like it's not even like borderline inappropriate. It's like fully on the other side of it to the point where it feels unrealistic. I can't imagine anyone going to a place, you literally meet someone for the first time. They're clearly having some kind of serious interpersonal drama and then just absolutely being like, tell me about your dead mom. Like, what is that?
That might be another Blanca era thing that we can blame. Because right before this was Trail of the Twister, and we saw how tactless she was in that with Ma. Like,
oh my God. Like, it's not, and the thing is I don't think it's supposed to be funny. Like, it would be one thing if it was supposed to be like comedy, like, oh yeah, Nancy's so tactless, ha ha ha, look at Nancy, she's so funny. No, it's literally like the plot of this game is Nancy is trying to dredge up all of like, this dark history of this family.
Something that happened like relatively recently.
Well, we have to talk about that because I'm super
exactly.
confused about the timeline of the game.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But we're to believe that this happened, less than 5 years ago, max, I would say.
Certainly relevant enough to them that like, regardless of how long ago it happened, it's like still deeply, deeply painful to them, Yeah. So like, anyway. And so it's just, it feels uncomfortable to play the game as Nancy when Nancy is being like this, because I don't want to say these things to them, but you have to at a certain point. You know what I mean? Like, you have to talk to them, and this is the only thing to talk to them about. So it's like, so it's not, that's why it doesn't feel fun to me. I don't feel like I am on a joyride, solving a mystery. I feel like I am going to a place where I don't know a lot, and it's scary and sad and like dark and okay, fun puzzles, but like other than that, And I get that, maybe that's what the game is supposed to be. Maybe it's not supposed to be like a fun thrill. Maybe this is not Shadow Ranch or or something like that. You know what I mean? But like, so it's just not what I want to spend my free time doing.
Nancy's also not a very good friend in this game.
No,
the way, because Bess and George are here
pimping
in Japan with her. Yes. So she's here under the premise that she's like student teaching, but also staying at the Ryokon during the evenings or whatever. But then Bess and George are in the city at this convention or conference. Convention? It's a convention.
Yeah.
I always get those two words mixed up.
I don't know what the difference is.
And Nancy doesn't make any time to see them at all. She's like, I'm
No.
sorry, I can't hang out tonight. I know that you've been waiting weeks for me to show up, but I have to like hide in the shadows until 1 a.m. and everyone goes to bed so that I can steal a teapot from a grandma. Like, that's way more important than going to have dinner with you guys.
While I record silence.
Yes.
Hoping I hear a ghost.
It's like really neat. And every time she calls them, Bess is like, are you coming over? Like, can we go do something now? And then Nancy's like, no, I need you to like go on a date with this rando.
Guy.
He's super hostile. You'll love him. Like, what?
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's what this game is. It's all awkward. It's so very awkward. Though, yeah, that was another critique that I have of this game is that it doesn't. Nancy's supposed to be on vacation, but it doesn't feel like she's going on vacation.
Yeah,
there are games where she doesn't go on vacation that it feels more like a vacation.
Yes.
Like
oh my gosh,
Phantom of Venice. She literally goes to work for the GDF or GDIF or whatever, and it's like feels like a vacation because she's like walking around Venice. We don't get to see any sights in Japan. Like the most like touristy thing we get to do is go to the pachinko parlor, and I don't think that counts because no one is there. It's so spooky empty.
Yeah.
That it's like, this does not feel like I'm walking on the streets of Japan. It feels like I'm in a horror movie, which I get it's supposed to, but like, it's not fun.
My real biggest complaint about this game is the accents.
Yes.
And the choices that Her Interactive could have made with the voice actors at the time.
Right.
Unfortunately, we do have 4 characters that are supposed to be from Japan, but only one of those characters was actually voiced by someone who knows any Japanese or has Japanese heritage. Everybody else was a white person, I believe. I have to double check
right?
that. Miwako is the only person.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, unfortunately, because of that, I don't feel that I actually know how to pronounce some of the names in this correctly, because the character will be like, hi, I'm Miwako, and Nancy will be like, okay, Miwako. And it's like, okay, what's the right pronunciation? Because I feel like no one explained to Lonnie how to pronounce these. Yeah.
She just says Rentaro. Oh, or no, well, Rentaro.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Rentaro or Rantaro.
Well, and in Savannah's book, she literally calls him Rentarno.
I know.
Which I know is supposed to be a joke, and that is slightly funny.
It is, yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of not funny, though, because you think, well, we've been mispronouncing his name the whole time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he jokes about that, like, you know, she misspelled his name in her book, but, like, we're literally saying his name wrong to his face.
Yeah. It's like the worst example I think you could find in the whole game series is proof that these voice actors were not in the same room when they were recording, that everyone's lines were recorded separately, because when you have that back and forth and someone's just obviously mispronouncing something, you'd have to realize at some point that there's no consistency there, and nobody seemed to have caught it in this one. So,
yeah, it's unfortunate for sure.
Anyway.
Well... So
there could have been better choices. I don't know how hard it is in Seattle to find someone that speaks actual Japanese, but
it can't be that hard.
I don't know. I would assume it'd be a lot easier than this.
Plenty of Japanese voice actors looking for work.
Because I feel like it should have been easier to find somebody who could pronounce things.
That's disappointing for sure. Anyways,
it's a fun game.
It is. You should play it.
Hey, if you want to go at spooky time, again,
I agree. It's
it
very
does hit
spooky.
That point. Mm-hmm.
It's a great time of the well, I guess it's a little when this comes out, it'll be a little past a great time of the year to play it. But it's a very great Halloween type game. And especially, if you're a fan of horror, Japanese horror, this will be right up your alley, and I'm sure you'll have a great time if you can get past the accents.
Yes.
But yeah, so this is kind of a new era of Nancy Drew games that starts us off at Nancy's desk. And we get a case file to start. We talked about that a little bit already. You can control time with Nancy's alarm clock, but because of, this is supposed to be a spooky game, we can, of course, only play in the evening times. It like sets it up to where like, oh, you can't set your alarm to like a certain time because Nancy's going to be teaching then, which I like. I think that's a great
That's
way
a good
to
reason.
to put that into the game mechanic. I do think 7 p.m. is a little bit late, but whatever, I'll take it. You know what I mean? I think it's clever. And then, as usual, you can, of course, kind of play this game in different orders based on just when you complete certain tasks. So as you go through it, it's just the playthrough that, we happen to have this time around. So, yes. Do you want to tell us the premise of the game, Kori?
Sure, yes. So I kind of already mentioned this a little bit, but Nancy is going on a working-ish vacation to Kyoto, Japan. Actually, PG Krollmeister, who we'd worked with in a previous case, he's a phone character in I think just the previous game, but his name pops up quite a bit throughout the series. But basically, because we did so well on our last case working for him, he is actually going to pay for us to stay at the Ryokan Hiei, which is a traditional Japanese inn that he apparently thinks very highly of. So he has recommended this place to her. Bess and George are also in town as well. They are here for some technology conference that George is attending, which we can go to the convention center in the game, but not actually go inside. We can just kind of go into the lobby area. So we don't actually see Bess and George, unfortunately, but they are here in town. So during the day, Nancy will be doing her English classes, and you can actually do grading and stuff in the evening. There's a little file in her room where you could go in and check the students' papers every day, and new assignments and stuff will come up. That's an optional part of the game, but it is kind of cute, immersion, fun. Yeah.
Well, do you always do it, Kori?
Never. I think I did it the first couple times I played, and then I don't really bother.
I do it every time.
Really?
Mostly because I like putting the big X whenever they get something wrong. I'm a very harsh grader.
I'll grade them I won't even grade correctly. Bad, even though it's 100% correct. Good job, even though they're completely wrong. I is Kyoto, 100% gold star. But yeah, so of course, Nancy has heard that this Ryokan is one of the scariest places in the city, so she's going to have to poke around a little bit, but otherwise we have the chance to go out into the city a little bit, play pachinko, do some nightlife things in Kyoto, but not with Bess and George, because why would we want to hang out with our friends when we get there? They came halfway around the world just to see you, Nancy, and you won't even make time with them.
This is the thing. It's it's not like you flew to New York. Or, I mean, even somewhere in Western Europe, which would be at max, 12-hour flight. Mm-hmm. So you're in Japan, which is literally the opposite side of the world from the US. That is a full day to get there, a full 24 hours. You know what I mean? You. And she's there to teach, and presumably those teaching jobs last, I think, 3 months, or I mean, I'm sure it varies based on whatever program you're in, but it's not you're there for a week. You're there for a long time, or a more significant amount of time. So one would think that you're gonna want to capitalize on it. Maybe it's because she thinks she has time. I don't know, but yikes. I don't think Bess and George are going to be there for as long as she is. Surely the conference isn't going to be as long as her teaching gig.
No, it's 3 days or whatever.
So whatever.
Thanks, Nancy.
Whatever. But let's talk about the vibes of the game a little bit. I mean, we talked about, how we feel about it, but I do think that we should definitely take some time to talk about just the art of the game, because I do think that it is probably one of the more beautiful games that we have seen. I mean, all of the art at this point is pretty amazing and spectacular. And, I just think that the design of the Ryokan itself is just so gorgeous.
Yeah, it is very beautiful, especially the gardens.
Yes. The whole place, I would love to stay there. It's super luxe, luxury type of, hotel, and there's this beautiful courtyard where there's a pond and a bridge and a cherry tree. is just as like, quaint and gorgeous and Japanese as you could possibly expect it to be. And, it would be super peaceful feeling if it wasn't terrifying because of the music choice.
Yes.
Because, of course, it is supposed to be, a scary game. And so the soundtrack is like the scariest, like, Japanese-inspired music that I've ever heard in my life.
The music is kind of unsettling, honestly.
For real. For real. And I will say, too, that, like, the rest of it is pretty spooky as well. I mean, we can go to the convention center and riding, like, the trains around the city or whatever. That's not super spooky. But even when you go to the pachinko parlor, it's so empty.
It's kind of eerie.
It's eerie. It's weird. Yumi's apartment gets kind of spooky. Maybe not right off the bat, but it gets that way, Like, I think probably the majority of this game is spooky, and there's not a single part of it that is not.
The jump scares in this game will get you. They are good.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we have to talk about one in particular, which is so scary to me and is still scary to me to this day, even though I know what's coming and I know when it's coming. Every single time, it is horrifying to me and I hate it.
The bathroom one?
No. It's less of a jump scare, but like a scary situation.
Okay.
But we'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there.
I'm curious. Yes.
I do think, though, that there is something a little bit different about this game than other games as far as like the sound design goes. And it's that I think a lot of the spookiness is kind of, created by the soundtrack as opposed to like other sound effects, which I think other games would do. I mean, of course, the soundtrack is always very atmospheric, but I think this game relies so heavily on it, whereas other games maybe don't fully. Like, I even think of like Ghost of Thornton Hall, which I think is probably tied with this game for being the spookiest. Definitely has spooky music, and all the locations are spooky, but relies more on the art to be spooky and more sound effects than the music itself.
That's such a good point. I've never thought about that.
Yeah.
You're totally right, though. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But, I mean, goes to show you how powerful
absolutely.
a good soundtrack can be, because I think that is probably the main reason why this game gets the credit that it gets, and deservedly so,
Yeah.
But yeah.
3 words?
3 words. I don't even know I think I forgot to put 3 words on this summary. I totally did.
Horror.
Horror. Yeah. Racial insensitivity.
Yes. Just insensitivity in
general.
Because there is the racial insensitivity, but Nancy's insensitivity is at like record levels.
Horror, insensitivity, and pachinko.
Yeah. Now all I can think about is the soundtrack after you said that. Like,
yeah. I'm trying to think of something unexpected. You know what I mean?
Robot cats.
Yes.
Or robots.
Robots. That's absolutely what it is, Kori. Yes. Okay.
Horror, insensitivity, robots.
And robots. Perfect. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
That is such an encapsulation of this game. It always surprises me how well we do with that.
Yes.
Honestly, Regular Drews, we started doing that on kind of like such a spur of the moment thing at the very start of this podcast. And
not planned, yeah.
No, not planned at all. And I'm just always so shocked with like how accurate and how much it's like kind of stuck around.
Yeah.
So funny. Okay.
Should we get into the summary?
Yeah, let's jump in. Do you want to start?
Sure. Okay. Oh my gosh. How do we even start? Obviously, we have our desk thing. We fly to Japan, and then Nancy arrives and walks into the ryokan. She goes up to the reception desk to check in, and immediately after she does so, a picture of a woman falls off the wall, and the glass from the portrait just like shatters all over the floor. And there's 2 people at the reception desk, an older woman and a younger woman, and they start to argue a little bit. And they're like, "Do you believe me now?" And the older woman ends up leaving and saying she does not want her here. Tell her to go now.
Oh, spooky.
So we get introduced to the younger woman whose name is Miwako, and she gives us our room key. She also has a robotic cat next to her. She introduces this to us as Suki, and she says that her boyfriend Rentaro.
You almost said it too, Rentaro. It's hard
It
because that's
is.
how Nancy says it throughout the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
So it really gets in your brain like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Rentaro.
And Miwako will pronounce it differently than Rentaro will pronounce it as well, just slightly differently. And then Nancy butchers it entirely.
Yes.
So, yeah. So her boyfriend Rentaro got it for her because she always wanted a cat, but she can't have one here at the Ryokan. I guess too much mess or something. I don't know. But she loves Suki very, very much. And we ask her, hey, and also we learn that the older woman is her grandmother. We ask her why her grandmother was so upset at the portrait shattering. And she says, oh, Grandma thinks that this was a bad sign that the portrait fell. This is actually a portrait of Miwako's mother. And she alludes to something having happened with her mother, but she clearly does not want to talk about it. We do push it here because that's what we're going to do throughout the game, but she will just change the subject here. She'll also tell us at this point that this ryokan has actually been in her family for generations. It's tradition that the place be passed down from mother to oldest daughter, and they've had the place since like the early 1700s or something. It's really, really old. Miwako actually is the younger daughter. She has an older sister named Yumi, and Yumi is the one that's going to take over, but Yumi's not here. Miwako's the one that is doing all the work here. So that's going to be relevant later. But she also tells us that actually her grandmother offers classes in the traditional arts, and she encourages her to take one of those classes while she's here. Then after we talk to her, we'll start to head to our room, but we'll get a call from Bess at this point. She and George are here. They're at the tech convention already, and Bess is very impressed by Japan. She loves it here already. She's been shopping all day long. And Nancy tells Bess that we're still getting settled in here, but I'll be right over to see you guys any second. Huge
Okay.
lie. So we have that conversation, and then we go up to our room. And here we will, there's a few things in our room we can look at. There's a closet where we have our suitcase, and we've got a Japanese translation book that we'll need. So we'll grab that out of our suitcase.
And a Metro card.
And our Metro card, yes. And there's also like a little box of our teaching supplies in here. So we have our little folder full of the students' assignments. And then we have some stamps we can grade their assignments every day. But you don't have to. You can still finish the game without doing any of your teaching responsibilities. I don't know how Nancy doesn't get fired from her job if she
Seriously.
doesn't do her work. But also creeping around until 1 a.m. and then getting up and doing school all day and then repeat every single day. Crazy schedule. So we can do that if we want to. And there's also either like a bed in here or a little dining table, depending on what time of day you come in here. They'll like switch it out for you, depending on whether or not it's time to go to bed. And then downstairs, if we go back downstairs, basically there are like, it's like a little U-shape building basically. And the like arms of the U's are the hallways with the rooms in them, and then the center of the U there's like a garden area, and the reception room obviously. And so if we go downstairs into one of the other hallways, there's one of the rooms just has like a banner in front of the door instead of an actual door. And this is actually the baths. And if we try to go in, Rentaro will come out and he tells us, oh, there's a blue banner up today. It means you can't go in right now. Blue is for men, red is for women. So you have to wait until it changes to a red one before the gate will allow us to actually go into the baths. But Rentaro has like a little shed in the garden area, which is where he kind of hangs out. So later we can go talk to him a little bit more.
So whenever we talk to him, he tells us that it's actually surprising that we're still here. And then he just like promptly changes the subject. Interesting. What could you mean by that, Rentaro? We learn that he's the handyman here, constantly tinkering on robotics as a hobby, but really he has big city ambitions. He wants to work in the tech industry and he wants to travel, but really the reason why he's here is because of his girlfriend, right, Miwako. He will give us the inside scoop that people think the ryokan is haunted. And he will also introduce Nancy to nonograms, renograms, and Sudoku, which we have like a little book out that we can play throughout the game. And again, without fail, I will do every single one of these, even though I hate Sudoku. Like, I am scarred from Sudoku from the very first Sudoku puzzle I ever did in 7th grade. Do you remember those?
Yes.
When our math teacher made us do those? I just do not. I think I have like number dyslexia. Do you know that?
Yeah.
I know there's a specific word for
Dysgraphia.
it. Dysgraphia. I think I have that. Or
One of those.
Whatever it is where the numbers move around in your brain, I think I have that because I'm so bad at Sudoku. I get so confused. And I can do it, but it's a challenge and it makes my head hurt. I will still do every single one of the Sudoku puzzles in this game,
Yes.
though.
Oh, sorry. Dysgraphia is for difficulty with writing and spelling.
Oh, I don't have that, but
It's dyscalculate. Dyscalculia.
dyscalculia?
Yes, there you go. I can't pronounce it. There we go.
I think I have that.
Yes.
But anyway, after we talk to Renthro, on the other side of the Ryokan, we can meet Miwako's grandmother, Takai, in the cultural room where she's giving lessons. She asks for forgiveness for freaking out when we met, about the painting falling and everything. And she tells us that today's lesson is katakana, which is a Japanese syllabary. And we can do that with her and then continue to visit her daily for more lessons. But on this day, we have to actually write our name in katakana and then give it to her satisfaction, which is something that in the past I feel like was always really difficult. But this time I didn't have any trouble with it at all. I got it first try.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
And I think it's because the issue that I had with it in previous games is that I was doing it in the wrong direction. Because I think what you have to do, and I could be wrong about this because I haven't actually researched this.
No.
But I think what you have to do is, how they number in the order that you draw it?
Mm-hmm.
I think you also have to start the stroke on the same side that the number is.
I'm pretty sure you do, yeah.
Yeah.
Because mine will make me start over if I do differently.
That's the thing. That's what I think I realized. And I was like, oh, I don't think I've done that before. So anyway, pro tip. It's not just that you have to get it inside the lines. It's that you have to do the strokes in the correct direction. Okay.
So there is a way to do it. I've done it once. It can be a little tricky to do it, but it's definitely easier than trying to do it perfectly. The game just wants the number to be covered up. So if you just put a dot over each number, it will take it. Now you have to drag the dot just a little bit because just one pixel click, it will think that you've messed up. So if you do just drag it just the tiniest bit,
gosh.
just cover up the number and usually it'll take it. So if you're ever really struggling and it won't let you progress, just click on the numbers and then hopefully it won't look like it's supposed to look, it just looks like.
Well, that's the real pro tip then.
So.
My gosh. Yeah.
I've managed to make it work. I didn't do it on my most recent playthrough. I did try to do it, but it can be very, very tedious.
Very fiddly, yes.
Very fiddly, yes.
But after we've done this lesson, we can talk to her a little bit more. And she tells us that the ryokan is actually very important to her, and she loves it because it doesn't change here. She like the rest of the world does, right? So she feels like that tradition is very often made fun of, but tradition is actually how people know themselves. And so that's really valuable to her. And particularly here at the ryokan, it's very important to her that everything stays the same. Late at night, you can snoop around a bit behind the reception desk and get a closer look at Suki the cat. And it seems like she is protecting a box. And so we have to figure out how to get around her at some point. So we need to file that away. But then, Kori, when we first go to bed that night, we get our first spooky sighting. And there is a floating figure that appears, a floating figure of a woman. She appears outside of our screen door, and Nancy will get up and open it. But when she opens the door, nothing is there. The next day, Bess will call and tell us that they ran into Yumi, Miwako's sister, because she runs a bento stand at the convention center where George and Bess are. What a coincidence. So Nancy wants to go meet her to ask her some questions about this whole situation, which is just a wild thing to want to do off the jump. Because it still feels like, outside of the spooky figure that you've seen, nothing's really happening. Yeah, a picture fell off the wall and people don't want to talk about, their drama or whatever. Other than that, there's no mystery. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Nothing yet, yeah.
But George will tell us that, because George is also, she's at this tech convention, and apparently this robotic cat is a new thing there or whatever. It's a tech thing, and they talk about it at the convention. When you do go to the convention center, there is an actual stand with a robotic cat that you can kind of play with and like push some buttons and see what it does and everything. But so George is able to like ask around at the convention, and she knows about this cat, and she says that, oh, okay, well, what you saw, it seems like the cat is on guard mode and there should be a way to disarm it somehow, and that she'll actually look into it. And eventually George will call us back and tell us that she met the creator of this robotic cat who is at this tech convention. And because he's like into George, like he's like, he has like a crush on her, is like flirty with her. He gave her like this monster Sudoku puzzle to solve. And that, like, if she solves it, then he'll give her the code word to, I guess, disarm all robotic cats, which I don't know. I mean, we need to talk about this on like a device design perspective. I mean, I guess it's like a backdoor code kind of a thing, but I don't think it's supposed to be, because I think presumably Miwako knows how to disarm Suki as well.
She would have to. They make it sound like any owner could know you just have to buy one to get it, but she doesn't want to buy one. So like, oh, if we just talk to the guy.
Well, but like, then isn't this information on the internet? Can't we do a quick Google?
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Why do we have to deal with this creepy man who is like, I'll tell you, but you have to solve a Sudoku puzzle first? What in the creepy behavior is this? Like, ew, no, thank you. I don't need to know that badly. Okay.
Not just a Sudoku, a 5 Sudoku monster.
But anyway, eventually George will send that to us for us to solve, and we can pick it up at the front desk to do. So,
my gosh. Thanks, George. So when we go down to the front desk the next morning, we can overhear a guest complaining to Miwako about strange sounds that this guest's family had been hearing in the night, and they are so scared that they demand to check out immediately. So that guest leaves, and then we go to talk to Miwako about it, and she's like, oh, don't worry, don't let our problems bother you. Yeah, so she doesn't really say anything about this, but we tell her about the shadow that we saw on our balcony last night, and she's like, oh, yeah, guests get so tired. Like, leaves can make weird shadows on the wall, so, like, it was probably just, like, a tree or something. Like, you were probably just jet-lagged and think you saw something. You probably just imagined it.
Okay.
It's like, okay. Next time we go to talk to Rentaro, though, he is repairing that portrait of Miwako's mom that broke on the first day. But he can't get the back open, so he asks us to do it. And this is probably one of my favorite puzzles the whole game. I love this puzzle. Yes. Where it's just all these strings on the back of this portrait, but you have to like move the strings around so that nothing is overlapping. It's very simple in theory, but once you actually start doing it, all the strings move together. So it's super fun. I love it. And as soon as I'm done, I'm like, oh, can I have another one? I want to do that again. Like, just give me like a series of these, like with the Sudoku. Just give me unlimited that I can solve. But so we get the back off the portrait. And when we do, we see a certificate that's been like stored on the back of this painting. And it says Certificate of Spirit Removal, signed by Savannah Woodham. That's
At this
strange.
point, we haven't met her yet in the Mystery Universe. She's not a recurring character. At first, I thought we did, but I got the order of this mixed up. But this actually occurs before Ghost of Thornton Hall, so
it does. Yes,
yeah, I totally forgot that. I don't know why I thought Ghost of Thornton Hall came first, but
Savannah Woodham is a paranormal investigator that becomes a recurring character in the game, so we get to know her quite well. I'm not the biggest Savannah Woodham fan.
Yeah. I think she's fascinating. I don't think she's a good person, but I think she's very interesting. And I want like a Savannah Woodham backstory, because the things that this woman says are wild.
I don't know. I get a little fed up with her sometimes. I think she's kind of annoying.
Totally fair.
I agree. She's very interesting, but she's written like a caricature of what someone thinks a Southern person would sound like, but they've never actually been to the South.
The accent is also bad on this Southern one, but I'm not offended by it because
I don't care that it's bad, but it is bad.
Yeah.
Oh, Nancy, I've been dealing with ghosts since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. It's like, no one talks like that, Savannah.
But that's actually better than the accent you just did, trying to be like a making fun of the bad accent. I think is actually a better accent. Now, Savannah's Southern is a little bit more Georgia,
Yeah.
than
She
that, which
is,
I feel
yeah.
like is definitely more Texas. Like I heard your Texas in there,
Yeah.
but it's still a pretty put on fake Georgia accent. So,
Yes.
um,
The accent itself is very bad. Her little phrases and sayings are pretty stereotypical as
mhm.
well. And then yeah, just her writing. She just kind of talks in circles and it's all about like, I'm too scared to tell you, Nancy. Oh, there's this
Well,
horrible thing you need to know, but I'm too scared to tell you because even I was afraid, the paranormal investigator.
mhm,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, we definitely have to talk about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think Savannah's character is a little bit performative.
Yes.
Um, and I mean, it's fair, right? Like she to some extent I guess you could consider her a performer. She's an author, right? So she's putting
Yeah.
something out there. She is a paranormal investigator, so she is I mean not that that is performative, but she's trying to give something to people. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's fair. Yeah.
And I definitely think that comes across in the way that she talks. She's not super real. Like she's not
Yeah.
super genuine.
Yeah.
She says things to I think elicit shock value
Yeah, definitely.
from Nancy at certain points in time. And just she just has an agenda.
Hmm.
Is and I think it's pretty
Absolutely.
clear. But that's why I think she's so fascinating.
Yeah. But so Savannah is she was here previously a little while ago. And so I guess she did like a ghost removal something for the family because when we asked Renthro about the certificate, we learned that she came out here and Takai actually hired her to come out here. There's also an article in the back of the frame that's written in Japanese, and it's a little bit too complex for just our little Japanese dictionary that we have, so Nancy can't actually translate it herself, but we'll have to send it off to get it translated. We can also ask Rentaro and several other people in the Ryokan to translate this for us, but they all get very defensive and refuse very, very quickly. And actually, if you ask Miwako about this, you'll get a second chance. Like the game will not allow you to even show her the article. She gets very, very upset if she sees that you have the article.
I don't know. I think we really need to talk about second chances as a game mechanic at some point because so many times it is that like Nancy dies.
Yeah.
And I know that sometimes it's not like right, like sometimes she'll get kicked off of a case, which is another it's just I'm assuming is what happens here.
Hmm.
Like she gets kicked out of the Ryokan.
Yeah.
But I just think it's so funny to think, oh well, if every second chance is Nancy dies.
Oh, yes.
Miwako killed us from us being so freaking rude.
That's way funnier. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that'd be hilarious. No. So also if we ask her about the ghost hunting thing, she'll get super upset about this as well and says that these people or ghost hunters have no respect for anyone or anything. You're kind of right in this regard. Is for your specific case, Miyako, they definitely did not have any respect for you or your family. Um, the certificate, she says, is about a family matter, and we should know not to go messing with things that aren't ours. Well, you're
Hell
talking to
yeah.
Nancy Drew, so she's never going to learn that lesson. You are correct, but Nancy's not going to learn it.
Literally, after Miwako said that line in this game, though, I literally clapped.
Yes.
I was like, take that, Nancy. Yeah, don't mess with stuff that isn't yours. It's so funny.
Meanwhile, Nancy's like, I'm definitely already making a plan to snoop through your things tonight. Like,
Listen. I do think there is a difference, and this is where people are going to come at me. I just know.
uh-oh.
I think there is a difference between snooping and between bringing it up with people
Yeah.
that you've done snooping.
Mhm.
It's one thing to take some kind of pleasure in like the voyeuristic, like looking in people's medicine cabinets kind of thing. It's another thing to bring up like, hey, I saw your Xanax prescription in the cabinet. You want to tell me about that?
Like, whoa,
What?
way out of line. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm. Oh my gosh.
Anyway. Oh.
So at this point, we still have not met all the members of the family yet, so it's time to meet Yumi. We can go over to the convention center where she's at her bento stand. She is super energetic, has a very strong sense of style. We actually learned she makes all of her own clothes, and she has everything like all pink. So
Mhm.
everything head to toe, pink bow in her hair, pink dress, pink shoes. Like,
And we love that over here at regular
yes,
Nancy Drew.
it's adorable. She does also have this bento stand here, and she will like force us to help us or help her make the bento. So fun little mini game there. I actually really love the bento puzzles. They're always really fun. But there's something about her that is very like, I don't know, but careless, maybe impulsive.
Mhm.
She is very like quick to make judgments about things. Yeah, so one example, she has us make bento. She teaches us how to do it once and then just like immediately leaves. She's like, okay, you got it. I'm out. Like, you're going to run the stand for the rest of like the hour or whatever.
Does she own this bento? Like, it's hers, right? She owns it, right?
I mean, it's her business. I don't know if she
Yeah.
like owns the booth or
Oh,
whatever
well, yeah, no, I'm
inside
sure
the
she-
building.
but yeah, she
yeah,
owns the
but it's her
business.
business. Yeah.
Right. This is wild. As a business owner. Because it's not like she's just some, like, you know, like teenager working at this bento stand who doesn't care about the job. This is literally her business.
Yeah.
And she's just like, you got it. Bye.
I'll be back in an hour. You're Bess and George's friend, right? You're
You're
probably
fine.
trustworthy. You won't steal all the food and the cash to the
My
register
God.
and
Or
peace out
just
before I get
leave.
back. Yeah.
Just leave it unattended. Like, such.
Oh my gosh. It always does make me hungry though, because the sandwiches look genuinely very good. Like the bread
Very
looks so
cute.
fluffy. Yeah, it's
Yes.
adorable. But she does come back though. She whenever she gets back, we get a little bit more of her side of the story. She tells us that she's really not into working at the Ryokon. Nancy tries to push for a little bit more information, and she tells us that maybe she'll talk to us some more if we go to her apartment for her and get some extra bento boxes because she's out of boxes. So she gives us her key and her phone number, and as soon as we get her phone number, she's going to start texting us pretty much nonstop with all these like selfies of her, Bess, and George. And she's like, they're really cute. She's putting like emojis all over the pictures as well. So when you get them, they're just super chaotic. But whenever Nancy is not, or sorry, whenever Yumi is not here at the convention, she's hanging out with Bess and George. So the three of them are having a great time.
Seriously.
And Nancy is just like not involved at all. But yeah, so we'll get those pictures from her throughout the rest of the game.
But now that we basically have Yumi's permission, we have to go and snoop around Yumi's apartment too. We do see it. I love Yumi's apartment.
It's so cute.
It's so cute.
It's so cozy.
tiny. It's tiny. It is literally like a one room studio, but it's pink and adorable. And yes, like so cozy looking. Like if I was a young adult living on my own in the city, that is where I would want to live. Absolutely.
Dream apartment, right?
Dream apartment. She said it's a 1K, and I don't know if that means that it's like a grand, like that's the cost of rent or whatever. And I don't know what the, currency
Conversion.
is.
I think 1,000 yen is not
versus-
that much.
Surely not.
It's $7.
No, that can't be right then.
Yeah.
It must mean something else, but but I just can't imagine like a little studio apartment in the city, like, oh. And there is something about me, and I don't know what this is about me, but I love like micro apartments. I'm so interested in the concept. Or like tiny homes, you know what I mean? There's something about living small that I find very appealing.
Oh, absolutely.
Not that I do, but like I like to think that I would like it. But yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I've Googled it really quick. The
Yeah.
K just stands for kitchen. So it's just a one-person apartment that includes a kitchen, because that might not be standard, apparently, in some of the apartments that you can get.
Well, because I mean, even if you look at Yumi's apartment, the kitchen's not really a kitchen. She has a hot plate.
She has a hot plate, a little sink, and a mini fridge.
Yeah, mini fridge. Yeah. So it's acts as a kitchen, I guess. But yeah, I don't know that you could call that a kitchen. But like, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Apparently, there's also 1R. So there's 1K, 1R, which stands for one room. So it's basically like just a room, maybe a closet.
No kitchen.
And so if there's anything close to a kitchen, it would just be a sink, something like that. And then you would have to bring your own hot plate and fridge and all that. Which the pictures on here, this looks closer to what Yumi's apartment is.
Really?
And then there's also 1DK, What does DK stand for? Oh, dining. So it has a dining room and a kitchen if it's a
Fascinating.
DK. There you go. Okay. The more you know. I didn't know this before.
I didn't either. Oh, learning stuff over here. But yeah, so we see Yumi's apartment. She's got pink stuff everywhere. We can grab the bento boxes, obviously, but then we can also see some other interesting things in here. She has a book on shadow puppets. We have to talk about this later because this is never explained. She also has another book called Unveiling Ghosts, and we see this was written by Savannah Woodham. When we open it, we see that it's inscribed personally by Savannah, of course, because we know that she visited the Ryokan. And inside is her business card and her phone number. And then we also see that there was a chapter in this book about the Ryokan, and it's been torn out. So that's interesting. We can find a letter from Yumi's mom, and we learn that her name was Kasumi. And she was writing to someone named Marianne, who seems to be like a pen pal of hers from the US. And we find several of these letters throughout the course of the game. And I find this is maybe the most interesting part of the game to me, are these letters. And I really want to talk about them in more detail as well, but we'll do that later.
I have a theory.
I do too, Kori. I'm very interested to hear this. Okay, but let's save it because I think it depends on other information as well.
Yes,
but anyway,
of course.
Anyway, there's also a DVD that we can find, and we can actually put it into Yumi's computer. She has like a big monitor, which I guess acts as like a TV/computer for her. And when we put the DVD in, it's mostly fuzz, but there are like strange shapes in the background of this fuzz. And then we see a creepy image of what looks like a woman with long, dark hair. So it's very like The Ring, like, creepy woman coming out of a TV. I guess it was a child in The Ring, but whatever. So spooky. When we ring the boxes back to Yumi, we can ask her about the Shadow Puppet book, and she says that book actually belongs to Miwako. Okay. We also learned that she moved out of the Ryokan as soon as she was old enough to. She really talks more. She talks more about this. She says she really doesn't want to take over the Ryokan. Like, she thinks Miwako is fine at it. She clearly wants to do it, so let her do it. But Yumi hates the focus on tradition in the past. She very much wants to focus on the now and the future, living in the moment. That's kind of her thing. She doesn't want to think about the past. And then and I think also the Ryokan holds some unpleasant associations for her for obvious reasons, which we'll talk about later too. And if we ask her about her mother and the situation with her mother, she will also refuse to talk about it and ask us to drop it.
Well,
so
fair.
So fair. Because who would want to talk about the tragic death of their mother to a legitimate stranger who you've met less than an hour ago?
Right. It's none of your business, Nancy.
Yeah.
Even if there were a mystery so far.
Right, except
which
that there's not. The core mystery of this game is not that the Ryokan is haunted, because no one has asked Nancy to investigate the haunting of the Ryokan. Everyone just kind of accepts it and that it's fine with them. I mean, it sucks for them, really, but like they're not asking for help for this situation. The mystery of Shadow at the Water's Edge is that Nancy doesn't know what happened to these people's mother. That's the core mystery.
Google it.
She's like trying to figure that out. That's it. That's the whole premise of the game. That's the mystery. And that's why it's so insensitive. Anyway, it would be different if like Nancy came in and they were really struggling. They were like, Nancy, we're losing guests left and right. PG Krollmeister said to us that maybe you have experience figuring this stuff out. If you could, that would be great. And then Nancy would be investigating the haunting itself and not dredging up the past. And of course, maybe that comes up because it's relevant, right? But it's not Nancy asking people uncomfortable questions because she just wants to know the tragedy. Like, why is that the mystery? Anyway, okay. But so really the management of the ryokan is the sticking point for all of them, right? Miyako thinks Yumi is being selfish and not wanting to have anything to do with the running of it, and Yumi thinks that no one cares about what she wants to do with her life, and Takai is just like a stickler for tradition and thinks that Yumi has to take over the ryokan. So no one is getting along about this. Everybody has kind of a different opinion. The next day, the baths are open to women, so we can finally explore them. But when we go in, the lights flicker. This is probably maybe the scariest moment in the game, but number 2 scariest moment in the game for me. When you look in the mirror, like the lights flicker, we look in the mirror and we see, first of all, not Nancy's reflection, which we have to talk about that. But instead we see a creepy woman like standing in the back of the room in like a brown dress with long dark hair. But Nancy will turn around and no one is standing there. But then we look back into the mirror, she's still there, standing in the back of the room. And then she like quickly approaches the mirror behind us and then the mirror shatters.
Oh.
So terrifying. If we tell Miwako about this, she is adamant that we are just imagining things because we're tired. Didn't imagine the mirror shattering, though. That's super terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And if we call Bess and George to talk about this, George will actually say that it's possible that the mirror was rigged to create this illusion. And apparently it's actually common for mirrors to break when they've been quote unquote rigged. I really wish we got more of an explanation for this, because I think this would have been a great moment to do some like STEM research stuff. Because I'm really interested in this and I still don't really understand what George means because it was a pretty vague explanation. But like if Nancy could like, I don't know, read an article about how this happens on her phone, or, you know, find a device or something that we're like, oh, now we know what that is because we researched how mirrors, you know, can be rigged to break or whatever. Like
that would have been better.
It would have been, because I mean, we literally talk about how George is at this tech convention.
Right.
Like why we should be bringing tech a little bit more into the game, I think, especially with the whole like robotic cat thing.
Yeah.
Like we could do that, you know? But anyway.
They play a lot with the traditional versus modern day technology stuff. That would have been a perfect opportunity to play it up a little bit more. Yeah.
I think so too. But either because it wasn't like rigged correctly, it could break, or it could have been rigged to break intentionally to hide whatever was like being done to the mirror, to, you know, so that you wouldn't be able to find out after the fact. Also, if you've completed and sent back to them that big Sudoku puzzle, they will give you the word to turn Suki off of guard mode.
Once you get into the bathroom or whatever, there is like cubbies with a bunch of baskets in the wall. And inside these baskets, you'll find a game card for the nearby pachinko parlor. So we can go visit there. And when you do, Nancy will remark that there is... sorry, I should say there's a prize machine in the pachinko parlor, and Nancy will see that there is like a comic listed there as one of the prizes, and she'll remark that she would like to read that whenever we see it. So obviously the game wants you to play the pachinko and win that comic, and when you do, you see that it's called Yurei, The Adventures of Koji and Kit, which is a story about a man and his fox who like go ghost hunting at this haunted house, and they meet a Yurei. And so Nancy theorizes, could the spirit we've been seeing at the ryokan be a Yurei? So she does pick up from this comic that, because I guess in the story, the man and his fox use like recording equipment, like ghost hunting EVP, whatever it's called. So she has the idea like, oh, maybe I should try to record in the ryokan and just kind of like see what happens. Also, now that we know Suki's code word, we can go downstairs and snoop behind the desk. Suki was guarding a puzzle box that we can now play with and open. And when we do, we find inside a piece of a tile, a sealed envelope that says password written on it. And we'll have to try to figure out how to open that without making it obvious that we've ripped it open or anything. And then we find another letter to Marianne from Kasumi. So when we look at this tile a little bit more, we'll find out that it actually goes into a part of the wall in the baths and unlocks another puzzle. And when we solve that puzzle, a peephole will open up in the wall.
Which Okay, can
In
we
the bathroom?
discuss? Why is there people in the
Mhm.
baths? Why?
We also need to talk
No.
about the floor plan of this place because I
Yeah,
don't
because where
know
are the baths?
where is the second bath.
Where are any of the baths?
Yeah. Well, I know where the first one, like the main one is.
Theoretically, but it's a big room.
Hmm.
It's tall. The ceiling's tall,
Well, that part's outside.
but the way that the building is shaped,
It wouldn't fit.
it wouldn't fit.
Right. So when the peephole opens up, you can actually see Miwako and Rentaro in what looks like another bathroom.
The what? So it's a peephole from a bath into another bathroom.
Yes.
Eh.
Although the room that they're in, we haven't been in yet, so we don't
Right.
actually know where they are. But they're arguing. Apparently, he's been trying to talk to her about moving away from the ryokan, and he's been trying to like push her to do this for a long time, but she's just been avoiding it. She actually walks away from him, and he yells at her, "Sure, walk away like always, and maybe I won't be here when you get back."
Drama.
Lots of drama. Also, we're on like the subway line. Like the ryokan is very close to a subway station.
Yeah, presumably.
We have to take the subway to get into the city. But like if you're on the subway station, you can't be that far away from the main city. Anyway, we'll talk about this later. Anyway.
You mean like the underground situation of this room?
Oh no, I mean like the subway.
No, I know, but what are you saying that in reference to?
Oh, that he wants to move away to the city. It's
Oh.
like you live like 20 minutes outside the city. You want to take her away from what's an amazing job so that you can
Literally
go party
her
with your friends?
Family business. Like it's also not just a job. You know what I mean? Like it's
an
like
amazing opportunity.
Birthright, like kind of thing. From the 1700s, your family business, and you can't just walk away from that. Like not easily. I mean, Yumi can, but like I don't think that's been easy for her. You know what I mean? Like,
right. It's obviously started a lot of trouble in her life, actually.
Yes.
We'll talk about this later.
Yes.
Let me put a pin in that because I'm going to go off on a tangent. And there's other things that are relevant to that we need to talk about first. So yes, they're arguing because he wants to move to the city, which is like 2 subway stops away.
And he visits the city all the time. We talk about this later too.
All the time, yes.
But like he can't have a job there. Like he can just do the train to his job, the train back.
So easy. Anyway. So we'll go talk to him, and he tells us that Miwako is mad at him, obviously. And now he needs a way to cheer her up. And so he tells us, he's like, she's been eyeing this collar for Suki at the pachinko parlor. Will you go win that for me so that I can give it to her? Because I don't want to make any effort myself. So you, Nancy, need to fix my relationship problems. So we do. We win the collar in the pachinko parlor. We bring it back. We give it to him. And then he will leave to go give it to Miwako, which means we can snoop. He's actually left a key card on his little table thing that we can take. We'll need that later, so we're going to pocket that. You want to take it from here?
Sure. On our next visit with Takai, she will teach us the tea ceremony, which really just involves us memorizing the names of all of the things in the tea ceremony. It sounds a lot better than it actually is. I would like to actually see an animated tea ceremony.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have been a lot nicer, but of course that would have been very intense to have to do. So I understand why it was not included, but anyway. But so we have this little lesson with Takai, and after this, the lights will start flickering in this room, and we see that creepy shadow, that same shadow of the woman moving behind the screen door in this room. And Takai totally gaslights us about this and tells us that it was just the wind and the shadows from the power lines, even though she was literally there and saw this happening. You know what I mean? Okay. But enough of like this haunting situation. Let's finally get to the bottom of this and call Savannah. When we call her number, her assistant Logan will answer. And after he learns what it is that we want and that we are not contacting Savannah about the tech expo, he hangs up on us. But hold on. The expo, as in like the expo that George is currently attending? What are the odds of that? So apparently, yeah, Savannah has like shifted gears from paranormal investigation to like tech reporting. And so that's why she's there at the convention. So if we call George and we tell her about the book and Savannah Woodham and the whole like not being able to get past her assistant situation, George will say that she'll have Bess flirt with him to distract him. How many times are we going to rely on this trope? Poor Bess. Poor Bess. How come she doesn't get to flirt with people that she wants to flirt with?
Right? Just because she can do it well doesn't mean she should have to.
Well, it's also like, it's not even really for a good reason.
No.
You know? Anyway. But so
Girl,
eventually.
Google it. Google it.
Seriously. Eventually they will call us back and tell us that Logan is distracted. And so we can call and talk to Savannah directly. When we do that, we talk to her, tell her that we're staying at the Ryokon and that something strange is happening. She tells us in her thick Southern accent, like you were talking about, Kori, that we should pack our bags and leave. Sorry, I'm trying to say it.
That was
slightly
good.
Southern.
That was perfect.
She tells us, who is a professional ghost hunter, that she has never been anywhere as spooky as the Ryokon Hiei. Excuse me? But she says that she will help us. So she tells us that the Yurei is a very vengeful spirit and angry and dangerous, and that, yes, it might be what is here at the Ryokon. And she also tells us that the certificate that she gave the family wasn't really real. She just kind of had those made up for kids who were really scared, like, you know, as a way to like try to help them with their fear. But she felt like she should give this family something as she was leaving because she never could actually get to the bottom of what was going on, which I'm like, what do you mean get to the bottom of what's going on here? You're a ghost hunter, not an exorcist or an exorcist. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So it's not like you're going there to get rid of the ghost, right? If you're a ghost
just
hunter,
seeing if it's haunted.
You're just going there to like collect evidence of the haunting.
Right.
And you did it for your book. Like, so you got exactly what you wanted. It's not like you're not like ghost hunters, right? Where they go and they try to like debunk the haunting.
Right.
That's not what she was doing.
No.
She was going to write a paranormal book. So she went to paranormal places. So she wasn't there helping this family.
No.
But I guess she felt guilty enough about it that she left them this certificate.
That's something, I guess.
Yeah, but like, that's really not, I don't think. Anyway. So, she will tell us, though, that she will actually have that article translated for us. We just need to send it to her. So, woo! Thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing crossed off our list. We have to leave the article at the front desk for Logan, but eventually we will get the translated article back. He'll text it to us, and the article details what actually happened to their mother, Kasumi. So, we learn that a 15-year-old Yumi found her mother, who was 42 at the time, unconscious in the Ryokon bath, and they were unable to revive her. So she drowned here at the Ryokon. So sad. So horrible. Like, absolutely tragic. Like, 15-year-old Yumi finding her mother like that. Mm-hmm. Like,
no wonder she doesn't want to be here anymore.
No wonder.
Yeah.
No wonder she doesn't want to be at the Ryokon, much less be on this earth. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we're lucky that Yumi is still with us. Like,
this is rough, yeah.
So, you would think, upon reading this article, that Nancy would be struck with profound sadness at the, terrible tragedy that has befallen this family. And that maybe she would feel a little bad about what is happening here. No, because the first thing we could do is go talk to Miwako about this and say, hey, guess what? We found out what happened to your mom.
Thanks, I just told you to drop it.
Oh, yeah. You mean how she died tragically? Great. But Miwako gets super upset, of course, and she gets kind of angry, actually. And she starts saying to Nancy, like, yeah, no, it's really bad. But, like, because we say something about it being like an accident, like, oh, this terrible accident that happened. Mm-hmm. And she says, no, it wasn't an accident. that's what no one seems to understand about all of this. The reason why we're all upset is because, we blame ourselves for her death because we were all here when it happened and we all, quote unquote, let her die alone.
It's heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking. Very interesting, though. And we definitely, of course, need to talk about that at the end here. But just so tragic. Just so tragic. This poor family is just so messed up from this.
Yeah.
But so that is who we think is haunting the ryokan. We think it is their mother, Kasumi. Takai actually says that she thinks that Kasumi is still here and that Takai herself, needs to help her somehow. Help her be at rest, right?
Yeah. It's heavy.
Yeah. Eventually, too, we see more guests leaving the ryokan. Apparently, something creepy was left in their room, and they're asking for a refund. So now Nancy is the only guest left here, and Miyoko is really upset, and she's like, "Nancy, this place is beyond help." But of course, Nancy's not going to give up. And also, this, to me, I don't know if I was doing things in a particular order or whatever, but, this kicked off, a string of really creepy things happening, all at once right after this. And I don't know if it's supposed to be that way because, we're alone now in the ryokan, or if I just did it that way this time. But several spooky things happen, including us seeing watery footprints on the floor of our room. Oh, which isn't just scary, but also sickeningly horrifying. You know what I mean? Because thinking about, Kasumi drowned and we're seeing wet footprints. Oh, we have to talk about this too at the end because this is just truly unhinged. Anyway, the door to our room is suddenly missing a number. So now it was 24, but now it just says 4, which is an unlucky number according to Japanese superstition. The sign we made of our name and katakana is also now strangely in red ink, which is also apparently a bad thing. And then at some point when we step into one of the hallways, all of the room doors are wide open. And then they each start shutting on their own, one by one, down the hallway progressively towards us.
Yeah, that that always makes me jump so much. Every time I know it's coming, it still gets me. So once we recover from these hauntings, we realize that we need to get an intact copy of Savannah's book because the one that Yumi had, the copy that Yumi has in her apartment, she ripped out the chapter.
Why?
Yeah. So Logan can actually help us with getting an intact copy, but he tells us that he wants to ask Bess out and we have to help him with this first. So he'll give us the book, but only if we give him a picture of an outfit that he wants to buy for Bess. Men, if it's the first date with a woman, don't show up with an outfit that you would like her to wear. That's not a good gift, particularly for a first date. But he wants Nancy to pick out an outfit for him to go buy for Bess. And Yumi actually, on her computer in her apartment, she's got a program on her computer where you can it's like paper dolls. Basically, you can pick what t-shirt you want, what hairstyle. And so you have to make an outfit out of this computer program and then text that picture to Logan. Eventually, Bess and George will call us and tell us that they were able to get the book after Logan bought the outfit and gave it to Bess. And Bess says that she actually had a nice time with him. So I guess that makes this whole thing okay. It doesn't. But yeah, so we get the book.
It's just... Okay, first of all, Nancy is the least fashion-forward person, factually in the game. That is true.
Yes.
So many jokes about Nancy's mom jeans and horse t-shirt. But just, I understand that Logan is doing it for a non-creepy reason. It was actually kind of sweet because he's, knows how much Bess likes shopping and she was talking about getting something at a particular store. And so he wanted to get that for her. But if you did not know that he observed this and that he wanted to do this for you,
Mm-hmm.
to show up with an outfit as a surprise on a first date for sure, but I would venture so far as to say anyone you are not in a very committed relationship with,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
is a bad move because it is creepy. It smacks of like fetishism.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I want you to wear this so that, so that I can
Mm-hmm.
get turned on during this date. Like,
Ugh.
and then Bess has to go on a date with him. She has to go on a date with him. And the thing is Nancy does not call Bess to give her a heads up.
Nope.
I know because I tried.
Yeah.
I was like, we have to call Bess to tell her that this guy is into her. But no, we just keep it to ourselves and just support this boneheaded plan of his.
Never mind that this man's probably going to guess the wrong size. And so that's an insult waiting to happen.
And it's like, it's Japanese sizes, right? Like, I don't know what Japanese sizing looks like, but Bess, who, like we already know is a curvy lady.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I mean, from what I've heard of Japanese clothing lines, a lot of them don't cater to women who are not smaller, right? So we have an American man shopping at a Japanese clothing store for Bess. For Bess. What a disaster. What a disaster in the making. With Nancy picking out the outfit. With Nancy picking out the outfit. Bess is just going to have to turn around and take it right back to that store.
Yeah. Honestly, Logan, if you wanted to do anything here, what you should have done was call Bess and say, hey, I heard you love shopping.
Do you want to go shopping?
That there's great shopping in the area. What if we went to your favorite store together?
And then you buy her what she wants at the store.
Exactly. That would be way different than showing up with a, hey, your friend told me you'd look good in this. Ew.
Just bring flowers. Just get her coffee. Like
anything but this.
Some bento. Like, chill out.
The book.
Yeah, the book.
Oh my gosh. So that happens. Bess gets the book. She gets it to the ryokan somehow. When we read the book, we learn about Savannah's experience and how she actually used EVP, or electronic voice phenomenon, to record in several locations around the ryokan. So she says in the book that she had an experience where she saw the wet and muddy figure of Kasumi, and then the next day was kicked off the case by Takai. Then on her way home, when she reviewed the recording, she heard what sounded like 100 voices all chanting one word in Japanese. And when she translated the word, they were saying, leave.
Horrifying.
Yes. So we'll have to like go around the ryokan and like record in all the same places that she was recording. But basically, when we call her, she'll tell us a little bit more about this. Savannah says that the room she was staying in actually had a secret passageway in it, and she can't remember anything else about it, but she does know that it was on the second floor, and they didn't want her to stay in that room, so we should try to figure out what room doesn't ever get rented out to guests. We can also talk to Rintaro about EVP, and he thinks that it's nonsense, but he does give us a recording device that we can use, and we'll actually go back to all the same places that Savannah mentioned in her book. And when we listen to the recordings back, we actually overhear that we accidentally recorded an argument between Miwako and Yumi, who was, I guess she was visiting the ryokan that evening. Miwako calls her selfish, and then Yumi's like, you want to see selfish? Here's selfish. And then we just hear like a splash. So like Yumi threw something into the pond. So when we investigate the splash, we look under the bridge in the pond. There's like a little bridge that runs over it. And we find a key to room number 18, which is the room that Takai does her cultural lessons in. Also under the bridge, there's some like weird indentations with symbols on them. And Nancy will announce that she needs to look for rocks to fit in these indentations. And we can find the rocks kind of scattered around the garden. And there's like a book that you need to read in order to put the rocks in the right spots according to the book, because they all have like different meanings. And there's like a garden stone, a sandstone, different things that these mean.
Stone, heartstone.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. But when we do this, a drawer will actually slide out from a rock. I don't know how they built this.
Seriously.
And inside is another letter to Marianne from Kasumi. But it also has some like weird markings on it. Like a drawing almost, and they kind of look like the folds on a paper that would tell you how to do origami, like the instructions that would tell you how to fold origami.
So we can get into the cultural room, and when we go in, we see that there is a key card on the ground, and so we're going to need that soon. So we take that, and then we can find the origami book and that little cabinet in there to fold the paper correctly, right? Because it has those markings on it that look like origami markings. So once we do that, this reveals a picture of bamboo. What do we know around the ryokan that is made of bamboo? File that away in our brain to think about. We can also take the teapot from this cabinet and use it with the fireplace in the lobby to steam open that password envelope we have. And once we open that, we can get the password to the computer to look through the room records at the ryokan. We can figure out that room number 33 has never been rented out from the records. So was that Savannah's room number 33? Should we try to look into that? Possibly. Also behind the desk is a lockbox, and now that we found this security key card in the cultural room, we can open this via a puzzle. This is the puzzle that I don't like. I hate these color overlapping ones.
Oh yeah.
Again, make my head hurt. I have something similar to number dysgraphia. Dyscalculia with colors too. But once we get this lockbox open, inside of it, there is a key to all the rooms that end in the number 8 and 9. And remember that picture of bamboo? Well, there is a bamboo deer scare, like water feature in the courtyard situation. And so we can go there and realize that the picture is showing like a little spot in the top of that deer scare that actually opens up. But there's like a cap on it or something that we can't get out just with our hands, so we need like a tool. So if you go into Rentro's shed, you can get a screwdriver to go pop it off the top of it, and when we do that, we find a piece of paper inside, and on it is a list of numbers, which is interesting, so we'll need that later. But okay, so now that we know that room 33 is this room that they are not renting out, we can try to get into it. Of course, we only have a key to rooms that end in 8 and 9, but we do have that little key card with the star symbol on it that we found in Rentero's shed. And this symbol matches the symbol that's on all the connecting doors to the room. So if we go into room 39, we can use the star key to get all the way down to room 33. Brilliant. However, and I don't know if this happens to you on your regular playthrough or whatever, but whenever I try to do this, this will trigger a scene in which we get trapped in one of the rooms and something starts banging on the door like it's trying to get in. This is the most terrifying moment in the game for me. Because the only way that we can get out of this room is by solving a little puzzle on the balcony that opens the balcony door so that we can like escape down into the garden. But it's timed. And if you don't finish it in time, this ghost will come in and attack you. And
it's so tedious too. Like it's so time consuming.
It's so tedious because you're doing like this radial like color matching thing where you have to like fill in the colors on this wheel to match across the whole thing. And throughout the course of the whole thing, this thing is banging on the door. And Kori, I swear to God, at several points in this like thing, it sounds like that thing opens the door and is in the room with you.
Yep.
But you can't look away because you got to finish the puzzle.
And never mind that the music is still creeping you out. Like the music gets more intense at this moment too.
Like, oh my gosh. It makes my anxiety race just thinking about it. My heart's racing.
Right.
But okay, once we do that and able to get out of the puzzle, we can get out of that room. We can go back to it eventually and look around room 33, but we can't find anything. There's no secret passageway in here. So we call Savannah back and she says, oh, actually, I do remember there is like a carved wooden bird thing that will trigger the secret passageway to open. So if we go back to room 33, look around, we do see that carved bird panel. We can click on that, and then a passage down into the basement opens up.
So this leads us downstairs into a basement room looking thing. I don't know. Savannah's room was like on the second floor, and so you go down presumably to like the ground floor. But this feels like a much like older kind of rundown. It feels like we're in a basement. It's kind of mucky down here. But this is presumably the baths where Kasumi died, and the ones where we actually heard Miwako and Rintaro arguing. This is the room that they were standing in previously. It's so spooky in here. There is actually like a normal entrance to this room. Like the planned entrance is not the secret passageway, but you can tell that they've bricked over the main door so that no one can come in here. Also, if you look at the actual bathwater, there's like a fog that kind of like rises up from it. It looks kind of like
Ripples out.
It's very strange. It looks like the water itself is haunted and possibly also like noxious fumes or something coming out of it. It looks nasty in here. There is also this weird, like carved wooden puzzle set into the wall. And when we take out the list of numbers that we found in the deer scarer, it actually like lines up with this wood carving. We realize that this is actually like a nonogram puzzle, and we need another set of numbers for the other way in the puzzle because we have like the vertical ones. Now we need the horizontal one. And Nancy will actually get another text from Yumi at this point, which contains another photo of her and Bess and George. And when she receives this, Nancy will actually make a comment about how there's something strange about the pictures that she's received from Yumi, and she needs to find a way to print them all off to look at them better. So at this point, we'll go to the pachinko parlor, we'll print them all out. We can see that there's like a hidden string of Japanese characters in the photos. We line them all up and we'll like be able to see like 4 different characters. And so when we talk to Yumi about this, she finally admits that she sent these photos to us on purpose because she wanted to see if we were able to break the code. She says she needs our help, but she knew that we could only help if we were able to solve this code for her. So she tells us that we need to figure out when and where to make use of these 4 characters. And it makes us make more bento for her. And this actually, when we have to stay to make the bento, this makes us miss our last train for the night back to the ryokan. But she's like, no worries. I'll just stay at my friend's house. You take my apartment for the night. So we go back to Yumi's apartment. We look around again and we see that she actually has this little figurine in her apartment that has like a combination lock on the bottom of it. And when you use the characters in that combination lock, it opens up a compartment with another piece of paper. This one has the other set of numbers for the nonogram puzzle on it. So now we have the whole puzzle set. But when we set our alarm to go to bed, Nancy's going to end up waking up in the middle of the night to a weird noise outside Yumi's window. It sounds like someone is like rattling the screen on the window. So we open the window screen. And so just on the window itself, we'll see text from Kasumi's letters start to appear like they're being written on the window itself. And so like a sentence will appear and then a sentence will appear below that. And then the first sentence will kind of disappear and get replaced by something. And so we're like seeing all these words move around on the window. And then eventually some of the words will fade away entirely and it just leaves a few words left. And when we read the words that are left over, it makes the message, I know your secret, Yumi. I can't wait to see you again.
What?
Okay, so we're not even safe out here in the city. We're still getting hauntings at Yumi's apartment. The next day, we go back to the ryokan and we can use the other set of numbers to solve the nonogram puzzle in the old bath. And when we do, it opens up a hidden compartment. Inside this hidden compartment is a letter from Kasumi to her daughters. She says that she doesn't think that she has much time left with both of them. She really wishes that she did have more time, but just in case, she set this puzzle up so that they would have to work together to solve it. She gave them each half of the numbers, and she says that she doesn't want either of them to feel like they have to stay at the ryokan if they don't want to. All she wants is that they work together to make a decision that will make both of them happy. Yeah, that's pretty much all the letter says. I think there's nothing else really notable from it, but Yeah, behind the letter is a dagger. I don't know. It seems like a antique, like
Sure.
maybe a family heirloom or something. This just looks like a wall safe, basically.
Mhm.
But yeah, so we take the dagger.
Okay.
And it's a good thing we do because as soon as we back away from this wall safe area, when we turn around, we get attacked by the Yurei. Same figure of the woman's with like long dark hair comes up, throws herself at us, and pushes us into the bath where she throws a net over us, like a fishing net, basically.
Okay.
Unclear where this came from, but now we're trapped under this net, and the Uray is going to drown us, trying to keep us underwater with the net, and we have to use the dagger to cut ourselves out to prevent ourselves from drowning. And as soon as we do, we can like jump out of the bath, and we see the body of the Uray just like laying on the ground, and it's a robot. Kind of looks like some of the mechanical pieces that Rentaro was working on in the shed.
Hmm. So all of this is a lot to unpack, but just hold with us
Yeah.
for a little bit. When we get out of this bath, there is like no one else around. You try to go talk to Rentaro. He is not there. Miwako is gone. The only person who is around is Takai. And when we go talk to her, Nancy will say that she found Kasami's will, which
I don't know if I'd
didn't.
call it a will,
Me
but
neither, but Nancy dies, so I guess okay, whatever. Takai says that, oh, she didn't mean whatever she wrote. Kasumi didn't mean whatever she wrote. Okay, so you knew what Kasumi had written in this letter? So yes, so we learned that she knew and she just didn't tell the girls what Kasumi really wanted for them. So Nancy like accuses Takai of her faking the haunting, even though we just saw the robot as
this
the
is
one
so
that
cruel,
attacked
Nancy.
us. So I don't know why she says that. At this point, it's pretty obvious who is the one behind the haunting. So this feels really out of left field to me. But Takai says that she just didn't want to lose the girls and thinks that because there's too much sadness for them here, that they would leave if they thought that they could, which makes sense, I guess. But she says that she did not fake the haunting, that Kasumi is here. The haunting is real. So she will finally talk about the events on the night that Kasumi died. She actually blames herself for her death, which Miwako kind of already alluded to. But she tells us more. She tells us that Takai was actually supposed to be the one to clean the baths that night. And Kasumi was supposed to go into town to meet her friend Marianne. But Takai just didn't want her to go, and so she pretended to be sick, and so Kasumi cleaned the baths herself and then slipped and fell into the baths. So, yeah, again, still tragic, still an accident, as Takai explains it to be, but she blames herself for this accident because she was the one who was supposed to be there. After we talk to Takai, we can visit Rentro's shed again and hear in another recorder that he has hooked up to the speaker thing. He tells us about this briefly when he hands us the first recorder, and I didn't mention it because it's kind of technical, but he has two recorders. He's got the one that he gave to us, and then he's got another one that like he was working on, which also has the ability to like send wirelessly the recording from the recorder to other people. So basically, it's like a cell phone.
Yeah.
But this game came out in 2010, I guess. So whatever. I don't know. We still had cell phones at the time and could send recordings to people, but okay. Whatever. But so that is the recorder that he has sitting in his shed right now. And if we click on it, we can play the recordings and hear that evidence that he has faked this haunting. He's like working on, there's like a spooky noise we hear, and then he said, no, that's not right. Okay. There's also a note that said on his desk that says work order room 33. There's also like a Doromatic like mechanism or like remote control that we can take. So that's probably how those doors were slamming that we saw before, right? So now if we go back to room 33, we can confront Rentaro. He admits to scaring people away. He wants the Ryokan to close down, Of course, he thinks it's a bad place after what happened to Kasumi. But now that we know, he says that he's going to tell Miwako that we're actually here to research a book that Savannah is writing, and that'll make her hate us and kick us out. So so we have to find a way to stop him from escaping. Oh, we have this door-o-matic remote control. So we use that, slam the door on him, shut him into the room, and then we can use his recording device to record his confession, basically. So we then get him talking again and get him on tape saying that he wanted to get Miwako to leave because he can't leave her here alone, which is a weird thing for him to say. But so yes, he engineered this haunting. He says he doesn't care what happens to us anymore. And so he kind of threatens us.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we show him that we've been recording this whole time. And actually, this is the device that Rentaro has that can send it wirelessly to different people. So we threaten to send the recording to everyone in Rentaro's contacts. So we as Nancy actually get to decide in that moment whether or not we send that recording to everyone and Miwako, or allow Rentaro to tell Miwako himself.
Send it.
I always do.
Yes. Don't give this man a chance.
No, it's horrible what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have to talk about this in depth. What he has done, what he has admitted to doing.
Mm-hmm.
Faking watery footprints on the floor of people's rooms. Her mother drowned.
Mm-hmm.
This is her boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
He's supposed to love her, want to help her, care for her, protect her, all of these things. And he's going around making a model of her mother's dead body
Mm-hmm.
and putting it in making a shadow puppet outside of people's rooms. Not to mention attacking Nancy with the robot, almost killing her in there, throwing a net over her. We can say all that we want. Oh, yeah, it's just an accident. The robot didn't mean to put Nancy into the pool or whatever. But then what was the net about?
Yeah.
That
Why
wasn't
was it
an
programmed
accident.
to do that?
No. This haunting is if this is not like he's playing some spooky noises. This is not like he's making some doors slam.
Mm-hmm.
He is using the story of her mother's death to haunt this place.
Not just that, but I don't know if we mentioned earlier, but Rentaro lived next door. He grew up in Ryokan. Kasumi in her letters describes him as being like a son to her. She knew him very well. She cared for him most of his life. And he's still not, forget about this being his girlfriend's mother. This person was important to you as well, Rentaro. And you desecrate her memory this way?
Mm-hmm. And not only that, to do that, but to manipulate Miwako into wanting to leave her family's home because you don't want to move to the city alone.
Which, what do you mean you can't leave her by herself?
Right.
She's not a newborn.
Just break up.
Yeah.
Just break up, my guy. If it really is that much of an issue that you can't stay here and she doesn't want to leave, you cannot force her to leave.
Mm-hmm.
He is huge red flag behavior, manipulative, borderline emotionally abusive, giving her gifts to try to make up to her that he's been harassing her about this place that she doesn't leave, which is where her mother died.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you can't get your way, you fake a haunting that isn't just oh, he's making it spooky. No, he's capitalizing on the very tragic death of her mother.
And
it's
for
psychotic.
What?
It's psychotic.
It is psychotic. And all for this payoff so that he doesn't have to take a 20-minute train ride after he goes out partying in the city at night?
Even if it was a 2-hour commute, even if it was a 5-hour commute, get over it. Even if you had to live in the city during the week and only came back on the weekends, many people do that. Many people live like that.
Lots of people do that. What are you talking? Okay. We don't really know why he wants to move to the city so badly. It's not for his job, because his job is at
Because
the
by the way, he
ryokan.
works here. Yeah.
It's not for his friends, because he doesn't really have that many. He has Miwako and he has Yumi and her friends. He'll go
Right.
hang out with Yumi's friends. But so he just wants to come party in the city? That's literally the only reason. And so he thinks that doing all this is the best way to go about it. Like, it's not even for something. It's not even that important. It's just like this impulse because he wants to go be a party boy. Like,
It's either he wants to be a party boy or he has like ambitions to join a tech job, which he talks about, but like you're not applying anywhere, are
No.
you? Like you don't have a job offer that you're like needing to go to. I
right.
think
There's nothing for, like,
right. And Kori, this haunting has been going on for years. Years he's been doing this for years. It's not just like, oh, he had a really horrible, messed up idea and it's been like maybe a few weeks of him doing this. No. Years he's been doing this to her for years. And the whole time pretending, because yes, pretending that he loves her. Because there is no way that you can love someone and then torment them like this. She is emotionally fried from this experience. People have been leaving her business, like her livelihood, her family's legacy. He has been chasing people out of here, not to mention bringing back the biggest trauma of your life daily. Imagine how terrified you would be if you thought that your mother, who died probably by suicide, which is something else that we have to talk about, was haunting your house. Oh my God.
This is her family's tradition. This is her birthright to work here. We have something so concrete keeping us here, her family, her job, her livelihood. And he wants to move 20 minutes away for no reason, really. And that's justification to do all the things that he's done. Send that freaking email, Nancy. Do not give him the chance to explain it himself. No.
It makes me want to cry just thinking about it. Like this poor family, this poor girl who has like had to deal with this. Like God knows how horrible he is in other ways. If this is the kind of thing that he's been doing this for years.
Because Yumi was 15 when her mother
Yumi
died.
was 15 and now she lives on her own in the city. So she's at least 18.
Yeah. How
right?
old do we think she is? I would say 21, 22 easily.
I would say early 20s, definitely.
And Miwako's at least 18 as well, I would imagine.
Right. I mean, I picture them being a little bit older, but that might just be the animation, like the bad graphics kind of a thing.
I would say both of them are early 20s, easily.
Yeah, and so it's been at least 5 years.
At least 5 years. That's a long time.
Yeah. And okay, like we could say, yes, maybe also the ryokan is really haunted. Like maybe like
so.
but like he's been doing this for years at least. Because even if it was like a little bit haunted and when Savannah came, that was years ago. Like that, like when Savannah came, he would have had to have been doing that because she talks about all the same things that we're seeing there, which is stuff that he's doing.
Yeah.
The mirror, the doors, the watery footprints, the shadows, seeing that figure. She talks about seeing that figure. So that's his figure that he made. It's a robot he made. So anyway, yeah, he's horrible. In my mind, he might be the worst Nancy Drew villain, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this is such unhinged behavior. Like such like serial killer level like behavior. Terrifying, horrible, abusive. Yeah. So I always send it. But you can choose what you want to do here and you can get 2 different endings to the game based on what you choose. If we send the recording, then Rentaro leaves and doesn't come back. He just disappears and both Miwako and Takai are furious with him. Rightfully so. If you don't send the recording, Rentaro will confess to Miwako and Takai, and after like months of apologizing, they let him help to restore the reputation of the ryokan, but Miwako does break up with him, and it's like they don't get back together, but he's like hopeful.
Why would you
that they will
want his help in restoring things? Like, how could you trust him ever again?
I don't know. I don't know. But it's like, yeah, we're supposed to see like this is like a redemption arc kind of him. But I honestly don't know how anyone could ever redeem themselves from this kind of situation. Like, I just can't imagine. I mean, I know they've known him for a long time. I guess that's all I'll say if I'm trying to be generous. Like, they knew him from when he was a boy, like really young. I just can't imagine it because the things he does are so egregious. Like, I don't
He's
know.
like the least deserving of redemption of basically any. I don't know. There's
I
some
feel like
murderers that are pretty bad in the series, but
yeah,
otherwise,
but I mean, honestly, Corey, the people who murder those people at least have a reasonable, not reason, like it's not ever okay to murder someone. I'm not saying
no,
that,
no, no.
but like
they
they
have
have a
motive.
logical reason for why they do it. They're
Right.
not doing it out of what seems like crazy, stupid reason. He just wants to be able to go into the city. Like, I'm sorry, what?
It's just not convenient enough for him to go out into
When
the
we
city.
go there every day we go
Multiple times a day. It doesn't really seem like it's that far. I don't know. I'm not in an area that has like a public subway or transportation, anything like that. But I feel like if you are close enough to the city to be on the public transit map system, if you are close enough to be on the subway system, you can't be more than an hour away. You know, like we've been to New York. We took the subway. How far does the New York subway take you before you're actually just on a train now? You know, like it takes you like maybe 20
or
minutes.
Even in the UK, you think about the extended rails. Yeah, yeah, you could get anywhere.
Yeah,
and
I've been in London. The London Underground will take you maybe an hour away from the city center of London. Like, it's not that far. And then from there, you have to get like a bus or a different train.
Right.
So if you're on the metro system, you're close enough to be a reasonable, like, it's not hard for him to make this commute.
I don't know. I mean, Japan isn't bigger than the UK.
I mean, maybe their subway systems are larger, but I can't imagine it's so large that somewhere that rural would be on the map, you know?
Well, yeah, I'm just saying that, like, there's ways to get around. Like,
of course,
you could get around.
I'm sure that they have better buses than we do, and he could just take the bus instead of the subway, you know?
Japan is, like, famed for its public transit system. Yeah.
Get a bike.
Get a bike, Rentaro! Get a bike, Rentaro!
Get a bike instead of terrorizing your family, your girlfriend's family.
We need to put that on a shirt. Get a bike, Rentarno.
I almost spit out my water. Rentarno.
But so, okay, to wrap up, we learned that now that he's either gone or has helped them with the ryokan, the girls finally feel at home again, and Miwako did officially take over as like the operator. But Yumi has now been spending more and more time there now that, you know, she and Yumi are getting along better. And she's also now started catering to the ryokan from her bento stand.
Yay.
So what a lovely outcome for them. Takai's classes have also now become so popular that you have to book them months in advance. And then Nancy is presumably finally able to enjoy her vacation with Bess and George. And that's the end of the game. So, oi, oi, oi. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Yes.
And that's Kasumi's death. So, they're real confusing about it in this game. And I gotta say, I mean, so it's somewhat obvious that they're implying that she died by suicide.
I accept that as the truth in my mind. I think it's intentionally vague because it's a rated E for everyone and they couldn't be more straightforward with it than that. But
here's the thing for me. To drown yourself is very, very hard.
Yeah, that's true.
You almost have to either be under the influence of a substance or have something to hold you down. Like, I'm sorry, this is really dark. Maybe you put a content warning at the top of this.
We definitely should either way. Yeah.
But like practically, whenever you are under the water, like, and you are running out of air, your body will instinctively try to come out of water. So unless you have something that's stopping you from doing that, dying by drowning is challenging. So, like, if you're trying to do it on purpose. So And the article that we read says that it appeared to be accidental. So that doesn't make sense to me. Because if it did appear to be an accident, that would mean that it didn't appear that she had anything that was holding her down.
Right.
Now, I don't know if they did any kind of toxicology or anything like that to determine, if she was on something, had taken something. But and maybe the article is mistaken, or like maybe the police didn't report this. Like, that's all possible too. I don't know enough about like what Japanese culture and like news would have been, what they would have said. I do know it's common for people to lie about the real cause of death in cases of suicide because
of course.
there's a lot of stigma around it. But if we're going based on what everyone says, if everyone is telling the truth here about what happened, then we're not saying something. We're not explaining the whole situation. I'm not saying it's not suicide, but I just don't see how that happened.
I think there's definitely evidence of suicide ideation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that maybe there was, like, she was probably suicidal. Maybe it just was bad timing. There was an actual accident.
That's possible too. Yeah. Ugh. I just think, like, the way they all talk about it, and when Takai talks about it, she talks about how the way you walk on the rocks when you're cleaning, like, you have to be very careful because some of the rocks are very slippery. It just makes sense to me that she slipped and hit her head.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Like,
yeah, well, that's a good point.
And I get why the letter makes everyone say that, but I think it probably was just an accident, and it was just bad timing, and that, she probably was very sad, and you can read that in the letters that she has written to Marianne. But she may have been suicidal, and you can maybe read that into the letter that she wrote to the girls, but I don't think that I would consider this an act of suicide. I was like, at a certain point, I was like, did she have to deal with a net situation too? Like, because I was like, where does this net come from? I don't know Rentero's skills with robotics, but it seems like throwing a net is a pretty complicated thing for a robot to have to do. And I'm just like, how are we in this situation to begin with? Like, when Nancy gets pushed into there with the net.
Was she pushed?
What do you mean?
Was the mom pushed in the baths? Like,
oh, but see, this is the thing. Well, because I'm like, we get her letter, and you could read it absolutely as suicidal ideation, that she's not thinking that she's going to be able to survive what is happening to her. But to me, it reads like, I don't know. It reads like she feels like threatened a little bit. And now, not to say that, depression and suicidality are not incredibly threatening feelings.
Of course.
They are. But it could also be that there was something else going on. It
Maybe
could be
was after her.
That someone did push her. It could be that the ryokan was haunted before she died, and that she was feeling this kind of oppressive, malignant energy kind of chasing her around, contributing to depression, possibly. Like, she clearly felt trapped here. Like, I don't know. It's very open-ended, so you can really go in so many different directions with it. But I don't know.
Not that there's any like evidence of psychosis, but psychosis and depression have a very high what is the word?
Comorbid rate or comorbidity.
There we go. Yeah. Yes. I forgot the last I in the word. Very high comorbidity with each other. So it's, it's possible maybe she had this sense that something was after her, but it's more attributed to mental health than something actually going on in real life. But
yeah. I mean, if we're talking about that bath situation, it's super spooky.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I can only imagine how spooked out you'd be down there alone when you don't want to be there, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Anyway,
Awful.
it is really horrible. Okay, let's talk about Marianne.
I have a theory, and I would have to go back and look at the letters to tell you exactly why I feel this way, but I feel like Marianne is a estranged sister.
Yes. Okay. This is what I thought too. I thought possibly she, because so at one point to Kai, when we ask her about this, I made a note about this. She says that Kasumi had a younger sister. How to find it? And yeah, Takai's youngest daughter, and that she met someone, and that she moved overseas to the U.S. and that she doesn't visit, and she didn't even come back for Kasumi's funeral. And Takai like refuses to visit her because she says she can't leave the ryokan.
Not estranged from Kasumi, but estranged from Takai. I feel like the
Correct.
sister is estranged from the mom, and then that's why she had to like say, "Oh, it's my pen pal," but not be more specific that actually I'm communicating with my sister.
I think that is a very strong possibility. That is also my theory, Kori.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I also have another theory. I think it could be either that, or I think it could be that Marianne doesn't actually exist.
Oh, that's even sadder.
Here's the thing.
Because why were the letters still at the ryokan?
Why are the letters still at the ryokan? Because these are not letters from Marianne to Kasumi.
Right.
These are
we
letters.
never see another, like the other way.
No, these are only letters from Kasumi to Marianne. Now, if they were sent to Marianne, who lives in the U.S., why are they at the ryokan?
Right.
Unless Marianne gave the letters back to the girls after she passed. Maybe that's possible.
That's a fair.
But no, Kori, because one of them has the picture, like has all the drawings to make the origami, to make the image of the bamboo deer scare, which is where Kasumi hid the letters for Miwako or Yumi. So Kasumi had that letter before she passed. Kasumi engineered that for the girls before she passed because she talks about it in the letter. So she never sent that. Or she sent it and got it back. Why would you do that? She never sent it.
Oh no, Marianne's not real.
Marianne's not real.
Or maybe she and her sister were actually estranged and these were just letters she wanted to say to her sister and she never sent them.
Yes.
Oh, both of those are heartbreaking.
Very sad. Yes.
Oh. Okay. Oh, okay. This game is so sad, you guys.
It's so dark. So dark. I don't know where to go from there, you know? Something funny. To try to bring us back. So you know how Yumi like makes her own clothes and wears all this pink and everything. At one point, Nancy like tells her like, "Oh, your clothes are so interesting," as a way to like subtly shame her. And then Yumi like insults her right back about it and is like, "Oh yeah, you know, I can tell that like you need some help. So here's this app that you can use to help you figure out your situation." Because she even like she lets it rolls right off her back what Nancy says. And she's just like, "Aren't they great? I love them. I make my own clothes." Just like absolutely casually, just like ignoring that very clear insult that Nancy gave and then just delivering it right back to her. I love Yumi. Yumi's my favorite character in this game.
She is an icon. Yeah.
Legend.
I love her so much.
Yes.
Don't you want to improve whatever that is, Nancy? You need my help. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, otherwise it's just sad.
It's really sad.
Just sad and scary. But yeah, to the Savannah Woodham stuff that we were kind of briefly talking about. I know we get some backstory of her in Ghost of Thornton Hall, but I need more.
Yeah.
She's not in Midnight at Salem?
No, I don't think so. No.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Should have called her. Should have had her as a phone contact. But anyway, no, I need another game with her in it, and I need to get. First of all, I need to see her. I would love to get an actual Savannah Woodham character. Second of all, I would love it if she was the villain. Third of all, I like some of the things that she says. Like, okay, She says, there are some jobs where being well known makes for a dangerous life. I guess I should say this in a Southern accent, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
There are some jobs where being well known makes for a dangerous life. Sometimes it's smart to move on. And then she also says, and it isn't what I found, it's what found me.
Okay, Savannah.
So like these things that she talks about are like truly terrifying and like so dramatic that like I just need to know more.
Yeah.
And she talks about like visiting that castle and like, but like,
oh, that's definitely a foreshadowing for Captive Curse.
for Captive Curse, because that is also the
next game in the series.
the next game in the series that we get a teaser for at the end of this game. But yeah, I just think she's super interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I just think the things that she says is super interesting. If we can get her accent just a little bit better, a little bit more authentic, she would be such a great character to have in a game.
She would be, yeah.
But yeah, I think if you're going to make another spooky game, which I know probably is not, I mean, I would hope that's not on their roster right now. I think we need to go back to our roots a little bit more. Her Interactive, if you're listening. But for the next spooky game that y'all ever make, if you ever make another game, please and thank you. I vote for Savannah Woodham.
I don't know. We did get some backstory with her, with Wade and everything.
Yeah. But not enough. Not enough. It's all so vague.
It is.
It's also vague. And I feel like Savannah Woodham feels a lot like Sunny June to me.
Mm-hmm.
In that, like, we get a lot of details about her.
Mm-hmm.
Not from her, but about her, like via Wade and Logan.
Yeah.
And Sunny, of course, we see all of his notes everywhere, his drawings, everything, everywhere he's ever been. And then when we finally meet him, yeah, it was a letdown and that sucked. But he's actually very different. And like, I don't know.
Not what you would expect.
Not what you would expect. And then like, there's like a lot there to talk about still.
Yeah.
And it's one of those situations where even when we do meet Sunny June, it's like still the lore is like so deep. It's so deep that it's almost unexplainable.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I don't want it to be unexplainable. I want to get that same deep lore that is clearly implied about Savannah. I want to actually get that about Savannah, you know? So, but anyway.
Yes.
Anyway, that's not what this episode is really about. It's really about this, you know, super tragic family story. But yeah. I just don't want to leave y'all with that because I feel like it's so, there's really nowhere to take it that's up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's really it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
And maybe that's why I don't enjoy playing it ultimately, because it is such a sad story. And yeah, there's a lot to think about and the puzzles are good. But like ultimately, when I'm at the end of the game, when I'm left with it, I'm left with like this hugely depressive like thing.
I'm filled with rage at Retro.
Filled
his
with
existence.
rage, mad, and then so sad for these girls.
There's been so
women.
Betrayed. Utterly betrayed by this guy. Yeah.
And just their circumstance. I mean, yeah. Like, to have that happen to your mom.
To have that happen at all, and then on top of it, what he did to them.
Be exploited so many times, right? Because they're not just exploited by Rentro, they're exploited by Savannah. I mean, like, they're basically renting out their home to everybody. And I know, like, that's their family business, so it's not. But it's just like, this is like truly the source of their trauma. And it's like they have to be there every day, serving other people there. It feels incredibly twisted.
Yeah.
Like you would need decades of therapy to even start to unpack all of this.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, flashlight score? Or is there anything else we want to say about it?
No, I don't think so. I mean, this is tough. It's tough because I do think it's a really good game. Yeah. I think it's well designed. I mean, outside of like maybe the dialogue situation and of course the horrible voice acting, horrible accents. The voice acting isn't bad. The accents are bad. I'm gonna make that distinction there. but because like who knows what direction these voice actors were given, right? And
Of course.
hired for a job to which they should not have been, right? That's not
It's not their fault, right?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a good game, but I don't enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the story is really compelling, but it doesn't feel like a story that I want to experience in a Nancy Drew game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not light enough, right?
Yeah.
There's no light moments. Like there's no, because I feel like Nancy Drew can verge on being really dark, or like
Of
you
course.
can take it in really dark places. But there's also moments of like levity,
Mhm.
comedy, through Bess or George or like our friends, or certain characters can be comedic, right? Certain situations that Nancy gets into, right?
Yeah. The lightest thing we have here is like Technology Expo.
Which is
Pachinko.
glossed over. Pachinko? Pachinko.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah.
In a creepy place.
Yeah.
So
Some back alley.
I guess I'll give it a 4.
Okay.
Around 4.
That's fair.
No higher. No 4 points.
Yeah.
No lower. Because I do think it's a good game. I think it's
Yeah.
good. I don't enjoy it.
Yeah. When I think of good quality Nancy Drew games, this definitely makes the list. When I think of my personal favorites, this is not anywhere near the top 10. So,
yeah.
3.75. I would, yeah.
Fair.
I don't know. It is good. It is good. It was very well done. The graphics are amazing. The animations got really good by this point in the game. I love the puzzles. The puzzles are really good in this one.
Soundtrack, again.
Soundtrack, phenomenal.
10 out of 10, no
yes.
notes.
It could be a 5. It's just not my 5,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Anyway.
Okay. Yes. Well, that was Shadow at the Water's Edge. I want to say, like, I hope you enjoyed it, but I don't feel like that's appropriate right now. So I guess instead we'll just say we've got another one coming up for you guys, regular Drews.
It's not going to be nearly as sad.
No.
It's just as weird.
Yeah, definitely weird.
Yeah.
Another later game.
Yes.
And it's number 26, Tomb of the Lost Queen. So I think I like that one better than this one, I think. I don't think it's as good of a game. But I don't know that I do enjoy it more, actually. I'm thinking about it.
If I had to give it a superlative, I would call it most forgettable. Because if I'm thinking of like the list of Nancy Drew games, that's always the one that I forget exists. If I sit here, I can tell you Secrets Can Kill, Stay Tuned for Danger, Message. I can do the entire list of all 34 games like that.
Well, I'm sure you could do that anyway, Kori.
No, I can, but when I get to 26, I'm like, what is 26? Oh, yeah, Tomb of the Lost Queen. I forget that game exists. I've played it so many times, y'all. I couldn't tell you a dang thing that happens in it because it's all so utterly forgettable.
This is weird, but I think I forget remember Captive Curse less than I remember Tomb of the Lost Queen, which is weird because I like Captive Curse.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know. Interesting. We'll talk about all that next time.
Yes, we will.
Regular Drews.
We will.
And I guess we'll see you then.
Yeah, we'll see you then.
Thank you for listening to Regular Nancy Drew. If you like this episode, make sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Email us at regularnancydrew@gmail.com.
You can also visit our website, regularnancydrew.com, and also follow us on Instagram at regularnancydrew.
You can also support us on Patreon. Patrons at the $3 level vote on upcoming episode topics and get exclusive access to our Scoop Sesh series.
And all patrons receive early access to each episode as well as weekly bonus content.
And to all you regular Drews out there, thanks for listening.